Hey there, everyone. It's Kim Reineke again. I have essential tremors and Parkinson's disease. I have not posted a video in quite a while, so this is going to give y'all an update. I've recorded a couple of videos, but I haven't posted them. So I didn't want to post them. I just got really busy, so I didn't get a chance to post them. So anyways, this is September 10th, 2021. And this is just an update on how I've been doing. I don't remember if I posted anything about this summer and how my disease has affected me. It started off kind of a rough summer. I had to put my babies, my fur babies, who are the only children I have, on the path to the Rainbow Bridge. And that was in May or June. I don't remember exactly when. I believe it was June, early June. So that was a really traumatic day for me and my family. My brother and I do not have any children. So I do have a half sister and a half brother, and they both have kids, but they are on my biological father's side. And so I have not, that's a complicated story, so I'm just going to bypass that. So my mama does not have any grandchildren from either one, me or my brother. So these fur babies were truly my children and truly mama's grandchildren. And she treated them the same way. So that's just really hard. And I can't talk about it anymore, else I'm going to keep crying. So, anyways, it was about a couple of weeks after we put them on the path to the Rainbow Bridge. And right now they're up there and they're watching me and Mama. And I know they miss us and I miss them. Okay. So, a couple weeks later, I had my first Parkinson's fall. It was in Walmart, and I was wearing flip-flops, and they were a little slick on the floor in Walmart. So I was reaching for something, and I put all my weight on my left leg, and my right leg was lifted up off the ground behind me when I was reaching for it, because it was on the top shelf. So I was standing on my tippy toes on my left foot. When I put my foot down, my shoes just went sliding out from underneath me. My legs were split. So my right leg went behind me, my left leg was in front of me, and I just slid down and I did the splits. So I thought I was okay. I was a gymnast when I was a kid, so doing the splits is no big deal. But when you have Parkinson's and you have any type of fall, trauma to your body, anything like that, even the most minor, I didn't think it was a big deal. I waited a couple of minutes and I got up and I was fine. Well, 2 minutes later, less than 2 minutes later, I walked out of the aisle that I was in. I had my big cart full, sliding around trying to get through and finish up my grocery shopping, and then the pain hit. So and it got worse very quickly. So had to go to the ER, and that was another trauma. I was in there from 10:15 p.m. until 9:30 the next morning. And it was just pure hell. I hyperventilated. I had my first panic attack or anxiety attack. I don't know which one. I think it was panic because I hyperventilated. And I continued to hyperventilate until they gave me pain meds and also anxiety meds. So, and that only lasted about 15 minutes because the doctor there was such an idiot. And I will say that to his face. I'm actually filing a complaint against him. He's such an idiot that he gave me steroids. After I had just started calming down and the medication had hit me, I was having a panic attack, anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it. I think it was panic. And there is a difference, just to let you know. A panic attack, and I have essential tremors and Parkinson's. So all of you know, because you are in the same shoes as me, that steroids make our tremors and our anxiety worse. So, yes, he gave me steroids. So, as soon as he gave me steroids, I didn't know what was happening. And then I realized it. I heard the nurse say something about steroids. So, I told the doctor when he came back in, he was getting ready to discharge me. And the idiot, this was at about 4:30 in the morning, and the idiot came back in and I said, "Did you give me steroids?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "You can't do that." So I got worse again. So he was getting ready to discharge me. Oh yeah, I'm just livid. So I continued to tremor for the next few days. My anxiety and panic attack had just calmed down when I got out of the ER. But I was hyperventilating in a bag for about 6 hours. I would say, yeah, because it was 5 hours. 5 hours. So literally hyperventilating in a bag for 5 hours because they couldn't give me any anxiety medication or pain medication. So that happened. So that just started the ball rolling. Well, actually, the babies having to go across the Rainbow Bridge, that started the ball rolling. And this just continued it. So then I got home the next day, thank God, not the next day, but it was a couple of days later. That week, I was scheduled for an epidural with my pain specialist. And thank God I was, because I would have died if I would have had to have gone through that pain again. At least that's what I thought at the time. Then I experienced my first bout of full-on severe dyskinesia. And that was the following week, or the 2 weeks later. I had been working on my computer that evening. My mama and my brother, they always continue to talk to me when I'm on the computer. And of course, most of you know that when with us, we have an issue multitasking. We can't be distracted. or else it will completely obliterate whatever we're doing. So my family, I tell them this all the time, and I should have left the room when that happened, but I didn't. So they had distracted me. I couldn't remember when I took my medication. They were saying goodnight to me, or if I took my medication. So my last dose was due at 10 p.m. and because I'm usually up pretty late. So they went to bed, couldn't remember if I took my dose. I took another dose. So I double dosed within 45 minutes and went into full-on dyskinesia. That's when I realized, okay, I double dosed. So I sat at the kitchen table until 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, tremoring, or with my dyskinesia going crazy. So it was that whole thing. That just looked absolutely horrible, and it looked like I was having seizures. But yeah, it was the full-on severe dyskinesia to the point where nobody could understand what I was saying. We called the ambulance because my doctor's office told us to, which I did not want to go to the hospital. So they left, but during that time, I had just gotten off the phone with my neurologist telling her what had happened, and she had just, she was going to call in a prescription, but she needed to confirm through Zoom that I was having true dyskinesia. So as soon as her nurse called to hook me up on the Zoom appointment, the paramedics took the phone out of my hand, wouldn't let me get on the computer, and that was the only way I was going to get any help, was through Zoom and my doctor. So I was pissed off at them, pissed off at Mama for calling them. We called my primary care. He was out of town. It was just crazy. So that morning, since I didn't get to do the Zoom appointment at the time that the paramedics were here, it got pushed back until 11 a.m. So I continued to have the dyskinesia, and it had just started slowing down when my neurologist and I had the Zoom appointment. So she told me, she said, your dyskinesia is starting to slow down, is it not? And I said, yes. And she said, well, I called in amantadine, which is a medication to help with dyskinesia. So I had another bout of dyskinesia, which was my second, which was about a month ago. Yeah, it was about a month ago. So it was around August. So there were some more issues that happened during the summer. I had a friend that I've known all of my adult life that I found out was a closet alcoholic. She had been going through a lot of traumatic things, and she had not told anybody for quite a while, and it had really taken a toll on her. So we had to do an intervention. She went to rehab. 3 days after she was in rehab, she had to go to the hospital. Her blood pressure had dropped so much. So we were scared that we were going to lose her. So that was hard, doing the intervention and having to say goodbye to her, but it was the best thing for her, and she's doing really well now. So then it was another friend that had passed away, and that was just a couple of weeks ago. And she was one of my best friends as well, and has supported me and loved me and always checked on me during my trying to get a diagnosis for over a year and a half. So then we had, so much going on here at the house. We had new flooring put in, so I was in charge of making sure we get stuff packed up, coordinating with all of the contractors that we had coming in, the flooring guys, the guys that put the new, that enclosed our formal living room so that I can move in there, because it's a lot larger than my old room was. So they put doors up, and so yeah, I was the only one home when all that was going on, so I was in charge of all of that, and that was really stressful. Everything was just really stress related when this summer. I mean, it just stayed full of stress. So I would start feeling a little bit better, and then something would happen. I'd start feeling a little bit better, and then something would happen. And then, I mean, it was just constant. And then I went through, and it was after my friend was put in the hospital that passed away. Not my friend that was in rehab, but the other one that had passed away. When she was put in the hospital, that was really traumatic for me, and we lost her, and that was really hard. Really, really hard. So that, even though I was seeing my therapist and we were doing 2 times a week, it was still really traumatic for me. I kept on having anxiety attacks, panic attacks. So my doctor had put me on some medication to help with my panic attacks. I was still on an antidepressant, 2 antidepressants. So he gave me a beta blocker for the anxiety or the panic attacks. That helped, but I continued to have anxiety attacks. So finally, he put me on Abilify, and that helped with the depression and anxiety. But the anxiety attacks were horrible, horrible. And it would cause me to kick in again. So I had my second bout with dyskinesia the day before I was to see my doctor again, after he put me on the medication, the beta blocker for my panic attacks. So I was still having anxiety attacks, severe anxiety attacks. One day I had actually punched the wall, punched the door frame, punched my punching bag, pounded on the tables. It was horrible. That panic attack was just so horrible. And then my bout with dyskinesia. And let me tell you, people, if you don't have dyskinesia yet, I pray that you never do. That is 10 times worse. No, 1,000,000,000 times worse than my tremors that I'd had prior, and my back pain that I had prior. A billion times worse. So my body would hurt for 3 days after 1 day of dyskinesia. So I was taking pain meds for my body trying to recover from the dyskinesia, because that's how sore my muscles would be. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy, ever. Ever. If somebody could bottle up dyskinesia and use it as a weapon of war, man, I tell you what, they'd win any war any day. I don't care what the most severe type of torture they would do. They could do that to me all day long. I will take that over the dyskinesia any freaking day. Any freaking day. So, the day after my second bout of dyskinesia, I actually went to my primary care again about my depression and anxiety, and so he ended up putting me on Abilify. So found out yesterday that the Abilify, which is the thing that helped me the most, is giving me worse daily dyskinesia. So by the time the afternoon rolls around, my dyskinesia is so bad that I can't type. I can't hold anything. And I was wondering what was going on. I just thought I was having, my more off periods. No, it's from the Abilify. Come to find out from my neurologist when I had emailed her about my amantadine that she had prescribed me. So I had not started taking it yet. I had not even gotten it filled, because the day that happened, when I had double dosed on my meds, I had already started calming down and I was able to sleep. So I didn't even get that filled. My insurance wouldn't cover it anyway. So then as my dyskinesia has gotten worse, and I wanted to keep that on hand in case I needed another, if I needed it again, if I had another bout with this full-on severe dyskinesia. So I had emailed my neurologist about that yesterday and told her what new medications I was on, and she told me about the Abilify. So now I have to find out from my primary care what else we need to change to, because the Abilify I can't take anymore because it's giving me more dyskinesia. So it's just been a vicious cycle. Now I'm feeling so much better, and yeah, I do have a little bit of dyskinesia, but my anxiety level is really calmed down. My anger has calmed down, because when my anxiety, my panic attacks started happening, I started really having, my temper was getting really, really short. So I am on 4 antidepressants. I only take my Valium if I really, 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 really need it. Because I don't want to have to take that as much as I had to over the summer, because my anxiety was so bad. And it was not even helping my anxiety at the time. So even with the anxiety attacks afterwards, after I fell, I would take a Valium, and it didn't really help. So I just decided, okay, I'm going to try to get through my anxiety attacks. So until we can find a medication that'll help, which we finally have, but now I have to go off of it. So who knew? So I think that brings us to today, which is a big, huge day for me. This has been almost a year in the making. I never thought that I would be able to go back to work with my Parkinson's diagnosis. I actually did. I had 2 transactions this summer, which one of them closed at the end of May. The other one closed the first week of June. Those went good, but one of them was a new construction, so it was a little stressful, but it wasn't bad. It was just a new construction, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was going the way that it should be going. So, with the pandemic and everything, it was hard. There was a lot of mistakes. Everything that was installed, basically, except for the paint job, was a mistake. When the cabinets got in, they were the wrong cabinets. They were white. They were supposed to be mocha. Countertops, same thing. Then it was the wrong carpet. Then it was, it just went on and on and on. Everything that got done after that. And we had already been delayed for months because of the pandemic, and not being able to have enough people to work, for one thing, and then also being short manufacturing. It took a while to get certain items in. So, but yeah, that started everything. I was a little stressed already because of the new construction, and trying to get everything closed. And then I found out about my girlfriend who was a closet alcoholic, and we did the intervention, and then it just started rolling downhill. So because that did cause me stress, and I had already started with my anxiety, I figured that it's probably not a good thing for me to be an active buyer or seller in real estate. So I made the decision. Oh, I need to put you on pause.